Hello and welcome. I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor and this is your FII explainer of the day. Today we are talking about a very interesting facet of the Omicron variant. Yes, the world is on alert because of Omicron. In India, finally, cases are beginning to get detected and we are getting more and more vigilant. The key to Omicron so far is the fact that we need to detect it as early as possible. All the things that we know about Omicron so far tell us that it might not be as severe as the Delta variant, but will sort of spread more quickly. That's the information so far, and scientists keep updating that as and when. But to understand and perhaps then to curb the spread of this virus, the key here is going to be early detection. And what I'm going to tell you today actually helps in that early detection. This is all got to do with one gene that Omicron does not have, and it is called the S gene. It's also in technical language called the SGTF, or the S gene target failure. Now don't get confused by all the sort of nomenclature over here, but to understand that, let's go back to what the virus really is all about. Now, the COVID virus, and you've seen those images multiple times on screen on NDTV, and I've talked about it, that the virus, if you see, has a lot of hair-like particles that come out of it. That's the spike protein. That is the most notorious bit, frankly, of the COVID virus that leads to several mutations. In that spike protein, there are several genes. In that, one is the S gene. The difference you need to know is that the Omicron variant does not have that S gene. Why is that significant? Because how do we test COVID so far? There is something called an RT-PCR testing. We all know about that by now. What does RT-PCR do? The RT-PCR goes to that spike protein. Remember I told you COVID, hair-like things, the spike protein, it tests it for different genes. In a nutshell, for you to understand quite simply, if there are no genes that pop up in the RT-PCR testing, that means you are COVID negative. If there are some genes that pop up, that mean you're COVID positive. If a lot of genes pop up, but only the S gene does not pop up, that means you're COVID positive, and you're COVID positive with the Omicron variant. This is a game changer because now you don't need much longer for genome sequencing to tell you. There are indications much earlier. But there is a caveat over here, and a very important one. This is just seen at the moment as a proxy test for you to have an indication that this is the Omicron variant. What you really need to know after this is these testing results that show that there is a drop in the S gene, like it's called the SGTF. Then there is a need at this moment to send them for genome sequencing, and only then will you know for clear and for sure that you do have the Omicron variant. But at the moment, scientists and the community is very excited about the fact that this is a big tell as of this moment. It might be a proxy tell, but it is still a big tell at the moment. As we talk, there are a number of Omicron variants that are multiplying across the world. And like I said, circling it back to why this information is so relevant, because it tells you whether or not you have Omicron, and the only way to stop it is to have early detection. Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor, NDTV.